On this episode of Under the Radar Michigan, we're in Marshall and Colon for a historic tour, a classic Michigan meal, and more magic than you can wave a wand at. Then we head to one of Michigan's best beach towns, Grand Haven. We'll visit a shop that'll take you back to the old country, a place where longboards give you smokin' mad love, and have a restful stay at the Harbor House. Get ready to explore the cool people, places, and things that make Michigan a great place to be.
Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing and Development Authority, investing in people, places, and partnerships to help transform Michigan and the Michigan economy. In cities, towns, and neighborhoods, people are building better places to live and better communities. Also by the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. The Komen Race for the Cure series raises significant funds and awareness for the fight against breast cancer, celebrates breast cancer survivorship, and honors those who have lost their battle with the disease. More info at komen.org. Also in part by the Food Bank Council of Michigan, Michigan's statewide food bank network, committed to the alleviation of hunger in Michigan and in our nation. The Food Bank Council of Michigan gathers food and funds to help stock Michigan's food banks. Support for Under the Radar Michigan comes from Bigby Coffee, celebrating 17 years as a Michigan company. Gift cards, coffee mugs, and coffee by the pound are available in-store and online. Locations at biggby.com.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar Michigan.
If you want to step back in time, don't buy one of those expensive time machines off the internet. Just do what I do. Come to Marshall, Michigan.
Marshall is so full of history and 19th century small-town architecture that it's been given status as a National Historic Landmark District. Some families have done business here for generations, and it's easy to see why. This is a beautiful place to live, work, and play. Marshall is located in southern Lower Michigan, halfway between Jackson and Kalamazoo. The Marshall Carriage Company is a great way to see town, and Karen Haggerty was the perfect person to have as our guide.
So welcome to Marshall.
I'm overwhelmed with how pretty this town is, because I talked to some people before we came here, but this is very, very cool. And I understand people come here mostly for history.
They do, and from a tourist attraction standpoint, you can't do better than that, because being founded around 1830, Marshall being the possible would-be capital of Michigan, all of the dignitaries, important people of the time moving to this town and building this great place that's just like it was then in a lot of ways.
Well, was this the actual state capital for a while, or was it just proposed?
It was proposed, it was assumed, and it was nearly the capital, but losing to Lansing in 1847. And most of the folks here are probably glad. We would have been a totally different town.
So you do get a lot of tourists coming to town.
We have a tremendous amount of tourists, and we're not a lake town. We don't have a beach, but what we do have, our history, attracts so many people from so many different areas, particularly the one-tank trip these days, which is really important because when you get here, we can build you an itinerary so you can see things for an hour, or you can spend 3, 4, 5 days here, depending on the events, because we also have a tremendous number of events to go along with the shopping, the dining, a lot to do. It's just Norman Rockwell in a nutshell. And people come here and they just spend more time looking up and looking at the architecture and the buildings, and they don't even realize architecture can be so fascinating, but it's been called just a plethora of 19th century architecture just in this little town of 7,000 people.
Next, our carriage ride took us through the beautiful neighborhoods of Marshall, which is home to over 850 registered historic landmarks.
Yeah, this really is classic Americana. I mean, every house is different, every house is beautiful, and they're so well kept.
Yes, and different examples too of the mixture of the Gothic, the Italianate, all of the different architecture.
Karen was so full of fascinating facts about this community that by the time we were done, my head was spinning more than the carriage wheels. If you enjoy an occasional step back in time, this is definitely something you should experience. We've been to so many towns here in Michigan that it's tough to surprise us, but I was really surprised when we drove into town how pretty this town is. It really is beautiful. And there's so much in town.
There is. There's just so much to see that when people come to the visitor center, I say, do you have 1 hour or do you have 3 days? Because we have them go downtown, a lot of neat retail stores, very unique mom and pop stores, wonderful restaurants, and then the attractions that we have including Schuler's restaurant, over 100 years old. And people come here and they have no idea how much Michigan history lies right here. They hop on a carriage ride, they ride around town, and they just fall in love with the town. It's a nice, safe community, people who just care about where they live, and they love to welcome people and visitors.
Oh, thank you. I feel welcome now.
Welcome to Marshall.
I'll tell you, when you meet passionate people like Karen, it's hard not to feel welcome here in Marshall.
You know, there's an old saying in the restaurant business, you're only as good as your last meal. And from what I hear at this place, they ain't missed yet.
When it comes to fine restaurants, Schuler's is an institution here in Michigan. For over 100 years, this restaurant has been a benchmark for quality and hospitality. Hans Schuler comes from a long line of people who understand what a meal out really means to most people.
I understand I missed your 100th anniversary by a few years.
Yes, 103 years ago, my grandfather started in business here in Marshall. He had a little sandwich shop, and this was in 1909.
Oh my God.
And since then, it's grown from a hotel to a restaurant. In fact, as you're sitting in a bowling alley right now.
This used to be a bowling alley?
Yes. My dad came back from the service and said, no more bowling alley, because the pin setters were going to go on strike. And he said, I'm going to put a dining room in it. They said, Schuler, you're nuts. You'll never make it. Well, the rest is history.
Well, lucky for us, the Schulers have held strong here in Marshall, and they have a deep commitment to this area and its people.
Marshall's such a delightful town.
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful town.
And I was so fortunate to be raised here and in this area and to go. You know, I could go to work. I live just outside of town on a farm, come back in, and I could get to work without going through a stoplight. And this is out in the hinterlands. And a lot of people think, well, gosh, do I want to work in Marshall, Michigan? But the thing that local people understand is what a great place to raise a family. You know, the school systems are so terrific. You'll walk down the street and people will say hi. You don't worry about parking downtown, and they're not going to give you a ticket for parking there too long. And we have like 125 employees. And the longevity. People grow, we give them opportunities to grow, and that excites me.
Now, this business is in your DNA. I mean, your father was a pretty incredible restaurateur.
He was an incredible host, you know, and it was in my DNA. It is in my DNA.
Well, this place really is a Michigan treasure.
But Tom, it starts with hospitality and a welcome, a warm welcome. We like to say it's like inviting someone into your home, and we always say, welcome to Schuler's.
Well, in keeping with the whole welcoming theme here, if you'd like to thank us for introducing you to Schuler's, you're welcome. It's what we do.
If you watch our show, you've probably noticed that we do a lot of, well, TV magic. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool to go see the American Museum of Magic? And it's right here in Marshall. Come on inside, I'll show you. Pretty cool, huh?
If you're into magic history or just want an incredibly cool place to hang out for a while, this is the place. It's the American Museum of Magic. And yep, it's right here in Marshall, Michigan. Susan Collins spent a few magic moments with us to explain why this museum is so worth seeing.
So did you like my magic trick that I did earlier?
Yes.
Pretty cool, huh?
It's amazing.
Thank you, thank you. So how did the American Museum of Magic end up in Marshall?
Well, it's one man's collection, about 750,000 items, and he came out from Detroit looking for a quiet place to house his collection. And he and his wife and father-in-law had dinner at Schuler's and wandered down the street and saw that this building was for sale. And then they opened up, and they did it in October, like maybe right around Houdini's birthday.
Ooh.
We had a big seance trying to bring Houdini back.
And he said?
And sadly, Houdini didn't come.
I had a funny feeling he wouldn't. Well, he's probably busy.
But one of the funny things about it was you couldn't buy bagels any place closer than Ann Arbor, which is 75 miles away. And so consequently, I had to bake the bagels so we could have lox and bagels to try and bring Houdini back. That's probably why he didn't come.
And you said you don't do magic. That sounds like magic to me. Oh, now for people who have never been here before, describe this place. I mean, it's pretty magical, actually.
Well, the posters are the thing that just really set me off. I love the poster collection. And this is just very few. There are over 2,000 that have been dry mounted, And I think it's something like 200 or so are on the walls because there's just not room for all of them.
These are all original, real?
These are all original handbills from all over the world. Bob was very good at finding things, and people would bring him things. They would mail him things. He was known as a collector by the magic community, and everybody knew he was doing it just for fun. He wasn't doing it for money. This collection is the largest in the world in private hands that's open to the public, and it's right here in Marshall, Michigan.
Well, whether you're into magic or not, this museum really is a neat place to explore. And if you're into history, beautiful homes, and friendly people, Marshall's got more than you can snap a finger at.
Well, that was extremely cool. And I hear there's a big magic festival going on over in Colon. Why don't I magically get us over there? I'm coming. Darn it.
Well, to make me feel better, Jim magically drove us about 45 minutes southwest to Colon, Michigan. Why Colon, you ask? Well, 2 reasons. Colon is the official magic capital of the world, and it also happens to be home to an annual festival called Magic Week. Every year, magicians and magic fans from around the world come here for one thing and one thing only.
We love magic!
Our host for the day was Rick Fisher. He owns the Fab Magic Company here in Colon, and when it comes to magic, this guy knows every trick in the book.
How did the town of Colon become the magic capital of the whole world?
Well, in 1926, there was a magician coming through town by the name of Harry Blackstone, and they were in Chicago. But they were looking for some place they could take the show and store it in the summer months and get it ready to go out on the tour in the winter and the fall.
Yeah.
They found this little plot of land, loved it down on the lake, brought the whole troupe, the animals, everything up here for the summer, and then come fall, they would head out to Detroit or Chicago, whichever direction they needed to go.
Well, so the Magic Week's been happening how long?
75 years. This is the 75th anniversary.
Really? Now tell me a little bit about what goes on in town.
We have magicians everywhere. Obviously, this is a magic. It's different than a convention. We have magic conventions all over the world.
Right.
But this is different because there's no hotels, there's no motels. Everybody has to either sleep on the ground in a tent or in somebody's house.
Yeah, you got to work to get here.
You got to work to get here. But when they get here, they stay. So we have magicians of all walks of life. 90% of them don't do this for a living. They're hobbyists.
Right.
They do this because they love it. So it's a lot of fun. So every year, everybody gets together. It kind of becomes a little commune of magicians. And the restaurants and the waitresses are sick and tired of seeing magic by Sunday.
Yeah, you want to see a magic trick?
And they get a whole
It's
year.
like, where do you go?
They got a year to recuperate.
This really is the magic capital of the world.
Yes.
And it's in Michigan.
It's in Michigan.
Thanks for not leaving.
You're
That's
welcome.
Awesome. I got a trick for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, I've been working on this. Watch this. Oh.
Oh, cool.
Is it pretty cool?
Yeah, because look right here.
What?
I got an extra one for you.
Oh my gosh! Whose is that?
I don't know. You hold on to that. You can keep that and put it on your other hand.
This guy's good.
Well, I may not be a magician, but we got treated to some great magic and good times at Magic Week in Colon. And if I were you, I put it on my calendar before someone makes it disappear. I know I could do this. Did it once before. Aha! Oh boy. If you think life's a beach, wait till you come to Grand Haven. Here life is a beach, and then some. It really is one of Michigan's great places to live, work, eat, stay, and play. Grand Haven is on the shores of Lake Michigan, just a 40-minute drive northwest of Grand Rapids.
I gotta tell you, even if you're not Italian, even if you've never even been to Italy, you're gonna like this place.
Fortinos is right in the heart of downtown Grand Haven, and this is authentic old world shopping done, well, like they do back in the old country. For 4 generations, Margaret Miklich and her family have been serving up a little bit of Italy and a lot of personality.
So you're a real Italian, huh?
I am. Well, at least half of me is.
Well, prove it. Come on, talk with your hands. Come on, show me.
Oh, that's not hard at all. Speaking Italian would be a little more difficult than talking with my hands easy.
So this place is a real family affair.
My grandfather emigrated from Italy. Actually, he had to be sponsored into the country, but when he went into business in 1907.
Wow.
Right.
Here in...
Well, actually, it was 4 years in Muskegon, and then he moved over here in 1911, and we've been here ever since.
What makes you keep this place so old world, authentic Italian?
Well, I always say to people, we're not pretend old, we're real old. It's in the walls, it's in the air, it's in the atmosphere, and we keep the look the same. People are very insistent on that. We have customers that come back each year praying we didn't change anything. Everyone here knows their history. is part of the family, pretty much. It's family, it's aunts and cousins, and my 94-year-old aunt still works here.
I saw her running around. That's
right.
incredible.
We make her work. It's terrible, you know. But you know, she's almost just ready to retire someday.
My dad was Italian. He used to tell me all the time, Italians start talking about dying when they're 40, but they live forever.
Well, you have to sing all 5 arias. You know, it takes time.
So, what kind of people come in here?
Really, we have a tremendous blend of people. This is a Dutch community. And so when my grandfather moved here, he always said they paid admission just to look at him, you know, because he was the first, of something
Italian.
different, pretty much. But they were so welcoming and so loving, and he thought of Grand Haven as God's country. To him, it was perfect in every respect.
I'm only half Italian, so can I shop in the whole store, or is there like just a section?
Well, we delineate. We don't let everybody see the Italians, But no, actually, it's for everybody. We have what we call, that is more of our cooking side. We have our pastas and gnocchi and everything is on that side. This is our more candy and nut side.
Well, I'll stay on the nut side.
There you go. That fits us perfectly.
If you ask me, every town could use an old world family store like Fortinos. And Margaret's 94-year-old Aunt Mary is proof positive that the old world ways can help keep you young.
I just had to come over and give you a hug. You look incredible.
Well, thank you. I feel good, too. I feel great.
You're not really 94. You're really like 60, right?
94. I was born May 10th, 1918.
You look fantastic.
I love it. I love the store. I love people.
And your father was from Calabria?
Yes.
You know what they say about it? Cappadocia.
That's not true. That's not true. That's a false statement.
Well, I don't even know what Cappadocia means, but I do know what Fortinos means to Grand Haven. And I guarantee once you've been here, you'll be a lot more happy and a little more Italian than when you came in. Now, on to something a little more New World.
Are you bored with your present life? Well, believe me, once you try a longboard, you won't be bored for long.
This place is called, that's right, Smokin' Mad Love, and it's owned by Blair Butterworth and her husband John Butler. And their energy and ideas are putting Grand Haven on the map for longboarders around the world.
I am so old school that this is what I used to skateboard on. And I understand you make boards that are longer than this?
We do, yes. We've taken from years of the skateboard industry growing from this day all the way till now, where we work with actually 42 to 46 inches even of longboards.
You see them around town. What is so special about a longboard?
So special about a longboard is all sorts of different things. The longboards are amazing and easier to ride even. Also gives you a lowered center of gravity. So as you're skating, it's actually easier to skate.
You won't fall down as much?
Not as much. It's better for your joints. Yeah, you have bigger wheels, so there's not as much clatter. They're really stable. You can cruise longer. You have to work not as hard to get going places, and you just go.
This is perfect for me. It's easier, it's better, it's safer. Now, I have to ask you.
It's time to get on a longboard.
Well, have you ever seen me skateboard? How came up with the name of your company?
My husband, John Butler, and I, when we were first dating, we used to say to each other all the time, he would say to me, I smoke mad love you. So we started saying that to each other over the years. And when John first designed the 5150 board, he had said, well, we're gonna call the company Smokin' Mad Love.
I can't get it out of my head, it's perfect.
Well, it's awesome. It's kind of everything that we really stand for together and, towards each other is like that passion, old school love, the morals of that, and really just loving something so passionately and strongly. And since we feel that way about skateboarding together and longboarding, it does make a perfect crossover.
What kind of people are longboarding?
All kinds of people. Our clubs range from about 6 to 65.
Oh, I'm in there. Woo!
We're looking to increase that. That's what we love about it too. Everybody can do it at any speed. It's really welcome to such a wide group of people. And then you can take and do it at like whatever level you want. If you want to be out and compete, or if you just want to go out for a skate with your family, it works either way.
So do you guys actually make the whole board?
Yeah, we design everything here in Grand Haven, and then we start out with prototypes. We press them, and then basically they're sent out. We get everything CNC'd. They're all cut and pressed. So yeah, we started making them one by one hand in my garage. So it was actually a garage business, started. So
tell me what you love about this area.
I moved away from Grand Haven for a while, and actually when I was 17, I moved out because I couldn't stand Grand Haven. And then I lived, in Grand Rapids and Chicago and Colorado. And I came back and I was like, man, why did I ever leave? This place is amazing.
I hear that story all the time, but it's so true.
Right, it's absolutely true. So I mean, the area that we're in, it's a kind of a resort touristy town, but just the beach is amazing. We have the skate park for the kids. I mean, to raise kids here is one of the best places, I think, in the U.S. to raise kids. And it's also a great place for adults too, just to have the fun nightlife that Grand Haven has downtown to offer. And a business like this, in a resort kind of town, longboarding is a thriving, sport in West Michigan.
Well, enough talking about longboarding. Time to hop in the Smokin' Mad Lovemobile and check it out for real. And while I decided to take more of a spectator role, Eric seemed to be a natural. And Jim, well, at least he tried. From what I can tell, not only is longboarding fun and easy, it's a heck of a good time too. So don't be bored. Get yourself to Smokin' Mad Love, get aboard, and, well, board your boredom away in Grand Haven. When it comes to living, working, staying, and playing in Grand Haven, this place really does have a lot to offer. So to make sure I wasn't missing anything, Kelly Gates at the DDA filled me in.
What's it like living in a place that so many other people want to come to?
It's like being a destination location for a lot of people. They come from all over the state, all over the country actually, to come here because it's such a unique combination of the Midwest, the laid-back, fun feel, but you've got the lake in the backyard that's almost like sandwiching the ocean right there. So you've got the outdoors, you've got shops and dining and everything all right in one spot. It's really cool. It's such a great place to live. It's a place you want to go, but it's also a place you want to live.
What's the restaurant scene like here?
We've got everything from old world Italian to traditional American. We've got sushi bars, pizza joints, Mexican, really anything and everything you can think of. A lot of great morning diners even. So people come all week long, all year long. It doesn't matter what day it is, what time it is. There's something for everybody here. We've got microbreweries, we've got wineries, a little bit of everything. So no matter your age or your interest, there's something here for everybody.
I saw a trolley go by. Where does that go?
That's kind of a nice little tour. It's about a 45-minute tour around the area. Starts at Chinook Pier, which is right on the waterfront, the boardwalk area, and kind of tools in through town. And there's a little bit of a historical aspect to it. They talk about the old facades of the storefronts down here. And this is kind of our Main Street area where we're sitting now, the first couple of blocks of downtown. It's part of a national program, actually, to really develop and renovate the downtown areas, revitalize them and give them new life. And it's been great.
Now, we couldn't come to Grand Haven without talking about the amazing beach here. On the day we visited, I'd swear we were looking at the Pacific Ocean.
Travel and Leisure rated it one of the best secret beaches in the world. And we have hundreds of thousands of people come through during the summer alone.
What's the secret? How do they find out about it?
Well, that's the thing, but it's in the Midwest. It's not an international beach or something that, Ipanema or anything like that. It's here, it's tucked in for that, but the people who see it, it's kind of like a jewel. It's a little hidden diamond in the rough. And it packs people. The ones who come back year after year after year, and the people who live here. That's one of the reasons why they live here.
Well, after you've spent some time in Grand Haven, there's a good chance you'll want to live here too. But if you're just coming for a stay, be sure to check out the Harbor House Inn. It's right downtown and has great views of the waterfront. Now, unfortunately, when we stopped in, there was only one room left, so we flipped a coin and Eric won. But that's okay, he deserved it. Grand Haven, another great Michigan town.
Huh? Oh, boy, have you ever gone to somebody's website and you get there and it's kind of disappointing? Well, you should go to utrmichigan.com because if you've never been there before, you won't know what to expect, so you can't be disappointed. You can go to our visitor's guide and find out places we've been, tell us where to go. You can jump to our Facebook page or even find out where to get a hat like mine, huh? So go to utrmichigan.com and I promise you will not be disappointed. Watch. Aha! I love it.
Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing and Development Authority, investing in people, places, and partnerships to help transform Michigan and the Michigan economy. In cities, towns, and neighborhoods, people are building better places to live and better communities. Also by the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. The Komen Race for the Cure series raises significant funds and awareness for the fight against breast cancer, celebrates breast cancer survivorship, and honors those who have lost their battle with the disease. More info at komen.org. Also in part by the Food Bank Council of Michigan, Michigan's statewide food bank network, committed to the alleviation of hunger in Michigan and in our nation. The Food Bank Council of Michigan gathers food and funds to help stock Michigan's food banks. Support for Under the Radar Michigan comes from Big B Coffee, celebrating 17 years as a Michigan company. Gift cards, coffee mugs, and coffee by the pound are available in-store and online. Locations at biggby.com. Closed captioning for Under the Radar Michigan is made possible by Shamrock Travel in downtown Rochester. Shamrock Travel, providing complete travel services right here in Michigan for over 20 years.